All right, ready? I don't care about your feelings.
That was so odd. You'd be left of Lenin.
I can't believe you said that. Oh, jeez.
You have no power here.
What? Just two brothers.
It's just two brothers.
So why is this a big deal? This doesn't seem like it should be a big deal. I mean, America we all came from immigrants, and you know, it just open borders allow for people in struggling to better their lives, and it's just a bunch of families coming across the border, and I mean, why is this bad? This should be great news to everybody. This is what dreams are made of.
Oh, it's just a bunch of families coming across, you say. Well, luckily for that, we have numbers as well. The DHS actually keeps numbers of families coming across, single adult encounters, unaccompanied children coming across. We actually know these numbers. So don't let the corporate media lie to you on that either. Because here's what happens. 2019 unaccompanied children encounters, 80,000. Okay? 2020, 33,000. 2021, so far, we're looking at 132,000 unaccompanied children encounters. Okay? Let's look at single adult encounters. 2019, 369,000. Okay? 2020, 335,000. 2021, 992,000 interactions. Okay. Well, what about those single family units? Where are they at? Well, 2019 we had 527,000 single family encounters. In 2020 we had 71,000. And in 2021, this year, we had 415,000 single family unit encounters.
So you're telling me we've had twice as many single adults cross the border as we've had family units. So you mean that the narrative of these are all families coming across the border, to better their life, it's entirely false. It's further perpetrated or further perpetuated that, hey, they're all from South America and Mexico, and that's very far from the truth. That's not true at all. In fact, most of the people that have been crossing as of late have been Middle Eastern.
You know, it's insulting to me to think that our corporate media can straight up lie to us, knowing that we're not going to double check their numbers. And this is why we have to be calling them out and double checking. We have to be double checking everything they say, because they will go on and try to deliberately lie after lie after lie, hoping that you aren't even going to look, that you don't know how to use the internet, as, our President Plank would like to think. It's also interesting that the Plank administration decided to put his VP in charge of this. And, this just screams incompetence, which doesn't really give a whole great rap for the diversity hire situation, considering that he deliberately chose Kamala because she is black and because she is a woman. He chose those specifically instead of doing it merit-based. Then he puts her in charge of the border, and this is what happens.
Well, he was blinded by her amazing laugh.
No.
He was at a party and she started laughing. He's like, "Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. We need to hear that all the time, as an answer to questions." And so he put her in as the VP, who then got to be the border czar. And that's no secret to anybody what went down there. When they asked her about that, and she laughed about it. And
do you plan to visit the border?
Not today.
She's up there. She's up there for just a nonstop dumpster fire. She's a constant problem the one thing, and we're getting a little off subject here, but one of the things about her that just in my mind, I have to pull it up in my memory bank every once in a while. She was the first person to fall out of the race. She couldn't get 1% of her party. She was the biggest failure on the Democrat side, and somehow, like you said, not being merit-based, she ends up being the vice president.
She fell out of the race before she even had a chance to get to her own state.
Yeah, she dropped out before the Iowa caucus.
Now think about that!
Because she had less than 1%. Well, less than 1%. That's and she's coming from California on top of it. That means that the fruitcakes in California couldn't even handle her. Think of how pathetic you have to be a failure Democrat in California. That is failing so beautifully.
And here's part of the problem is you fail upwards when it comes into politics.
Please elaborate on that.
Well, she's failed at nearly everything that she's pretty much ever done. Whenever she led in the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, she made plenty of smearing allegations against him. Her start in politics started with her sleeping with someone to get into it. It's no secret.
It's amazing how candid she was about that with Willie Brown.
I know.
How candid they were. Like, he would go places and she would be with him and his wife would be with him. Like, it is such a bizarre, like, that whole thing, that it's so weird. And she was just, like, open and candid about it. And they both were. It's just... Yeah, that's not the way to succeed in life, folks.
Well, unless you're apparently her. Exactly. That's kind of what we were talking about is, and we talk about the rules for me, but not for the real problem in the Democrat Party. And, this is just kind of another example. She cannot do her job deliberately and nothing is ever going to happen to her. And that's just the way it is. And I just want to touch one thing on the border, because a lot of people seem to think that if we have an open border and if we allow people to come across our border willy-nilly, that we are somehow being compassionate. And the truth is that it isn't not compassionate at all. Because with that, you have people, if you just let people come across the border, you're inherently going to have more human trafficking to begin with. The cartel is going to start benefiting from people going across the border. They are going to be taking advantage of people who want a better life. So they're going to have to go to the cartel. You're going to have to go to their coyotes, and they're going to traffic people across the border. And then when they get here, it isn't any better for them, because guess what? The labor market gets to take advantage of their illegal immigration status, and they don't get the real benefits of being a true American citizen. Furthermore, it undercuts every single taxpayer in the United States, because many of them will go on to use social benefits that they aren't paying into.
To talk about the coyotes a little bit, remember when Trump brought that up? And they were saying, hey, these coyotes are taking people
Yeah,
to the desert.
Coyotes.
And one of those ridiculous Democrats was like, well, coyotes aren't a problem. They just kind of go wherever they're going to go. Like, they're like he was talking about the animal.
Yeah. They deliberately took them out of context so they didn't have to talk about, the human trafficking problem that's going down there.
Oh, yeah.